thought it was Starbucks.
No, my favourite restaurant is McDonald's, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was where you got to cook your Wagyu beef yourself. The Japanese restaurant.
Oh, that one. That's not Starbucks.
No, I know.
That's
just teasing.
okay. I forget what that one's called.
Yeah. All right. Look, I just want to go through that email you sent.
Oh yeah.
So Margaret mentioned that some of the cash that I had sitting in my bank could become useful.
Oh yeah, really useful. Yeah, definitely.
So I've read through this document. There's a couple of things I'm toing and froing with.
Oh yeah.
In principle, I'm fine. I'm fine about obviously the loan of the cash that I've got in the bank. I can get that out probably within 24 hours.
Okay, yeah.
And the penalties are not that much. I think it's $700 in backdated interest and $30 administration fee. So the 200K, it's pretty minimal. The thing I'm talking about is you mentioned I was looking at Brisbane Street at one point.
Yeah.
And I thought it may not be a bad investment. And it would certainly provide us with a lot more room than we've got here. And Margaret's in two minds. You know, depending on which week you ask her, she sort of thinks it's a good idea, and then the next week she likes her gardens and everything she's got here. But I'm really having trouble understanding here. What's that noise? Yeah, all right. So let me find out where I do that. How do I turn the video off on this? Oh yeah, hang on, here we go. Turn off video. There we go. So that should stop that noise. Yeah, okay, that's better. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Better place to live, where you're not going to have the expenses of different things breaking, you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing
Yeah,
is, and the other
I
thing,
agree with it.
yeah, and the other thing is, I think, you have to get confirmation with, I get this bloody feedback. I think it's feedback too now. Hang on. Let me just switch off. Okay, right. That was from my, because I've got two screens. I think the thing with the stamp duty as well, which I think I paid about 40 or 50 pounds.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, ultimately when I separated, and obviously before I moved in here, I was looking at buying something probably not in that price range, but um, with the similar ilk, something that's a townhouse, low maintenance, not huge gardens, something that if you needed to go away for a short period of time, the place wasn't going to fall down around your ears. I'd spent the last 10, 12 years in a house that was on a 1,000 square meter block. Had a pool. It was 40 squares. It was an older 60s building, a bit like this probably, that had been renovated and added onto. And there's no end of maintenance. Yeah. The maintenance goes on and on and on, and it was a big place, and it cost a fortune to maintain. Every weekend, I was out in the yard or fixing things. So I was keen not to necessarily, I don't want to spend every weekend fixing everything. So a newer place, it's well built, it's got more room. The garden's been let go, but I don't think that would cost a lot or take a lot to fix up. And Margaret had an idea about potentially putting a lap pool down the side. Or was that your idea? Yeah. Well, no, let me clarify. She said, that thinking about putting a lap pool in and converting that other side to, a pool or a spa or something. So, and I think that, even with some nice pavers out in that paved area that's concreted, where the retaining wall is, that'd be nice too. So, but I wasn't in a position to even consider that because with interest rates the way they are, and with my potential change in career at the moment. Um, Sorry. Say that again. Yeah. So I've done 19 years of IT recruitment, and I'm looking to move to do something different. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yep. You're talking about for Fritz stuff. Yeah. Right. Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Oh, look. I think the only issue with it really now is that garage area, the leaking garage. Um, yeah. Yeah. That's cheap as chips. of course. So, look, this is what I'm thinking, and this has probably gone, may have gone a bit beyond what you and Margaret had talked about, okay? And it depends on, I guess, your willingness to participate and the risk level and everything. But I was looking at potentially seeing whether I could get involved in, buying a place, an old place that was structurally sound, and basically, renovating it a little bit. Not necessarily massive changes, depending on the property or the suburb it was in. But things like polishing floorboards, painting, fixing up bits and pieces, and then reselling them. All right. So, and Margaret had mentioned that was something that potentially you'd been interested in doing. I don't know, maybe in Singapore. But if you've got access to, and if you've got access to cheap finance, and you think it's a viable thing, it would. I'd like to be able to be, my ultimate would be to be able to have, a couple. Maybe you go slow to start with. You do one property, but ultimately you have a couple on the go at any point in time, and you're essentially project managing the renovation of it. And in doing so, you're doing some of the work yourself. So you might save by doing some of the carpentry work, or you might do some of the painting, or some of the plastering, or you might just say, look, it's cheaper to get someone in to do it. So I'd love to do that, but I need access to the finance. The other thing is I wouldn't be working per se. I'd be working on that project, and then at the conclusion of it, once we sold it or we rented it or we did something with it, the income would come from that.
You see, doing it possible, it's not if you do it, then the thing that you like next opposed to say.
Say that again. You broke up.
Yes.
Doing it in Australia.
Then the actual, how whereas fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can sit very much.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Mm. Yep. Mm. It does. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's right. I, sat, I sat down back in about 2000, and I came up with a formula for, but basically going and buying a rental property every year, and reinvesting the equity in each one. And I worked out that, basically in 10 years you could have 10, you could buy 10 rental properties, or 10 investment properties, and have other people paying them off. It was fantastic. The problem was I was, I was in a relationship where I was spending all my income anyway, to support the family, and the missus didn't want to cut back at all. Sometimes they don't, and too risk averse. But mm, yep, yeah, yeah, really. Oh, she mentioned that there was some issue with the mailbox, but I didn't realise it was that. Yeah, yeah, mm, yeah, yeah. What? Yeah. Well, look, I haven't done a lot around the property, but I got involved in, like, I've done a bit of painting, and I helped Jim do the deck. So when he had to redo the stumps and pull up all the bearers and everything that was rotten, I was out there digging post holes and helping him put the bearers on, and we laid the Murbu deck together. So I get a certain amount of enjoyment out of doing some of that stuff. But moreover, I like project-related work. I like variety. I like some aspects of the business components of it. So the finance, the are we going to make a profit? What do we need to do? What do we need to get? All that sort of thing. So if you're up for something like that, then I'd be really, really keen to do it. Right. Well, if you'd be happy, I'd love to be involved from this end. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. No. Yeah. Yeah. See, I'd be happy. I'd love to do all the research in terms of. I know Melbourne. I know the suburbs pretty well, but I'd like to do all the property research. Keeping an eye out for suitable properties, and being au fait with what was happening and what all the trends were, etc., etc. So if you're in a position where you can provide the cheap finance, then I can run those projects from this end. The question, I've got two questions for you. One is, can you tell me in simple terms how the private banking world works and how it's able to offer such cheap finance? And then the second thing, is there any impact on the high Australian dollar that then works against the cheap finance?
No.
All right. Right. Yep.
Right. Very brief. Let's say Australian property.
Yep.
Right. That's it. $1 billion.
Okay. Yep.
Now let's say the cost of borrowing in Australia was a 7%. Okay?
Yep.
And the cost of borrowing in Hong Kong, we each have different currencies have different rates.
Yep.
So the cost.
Yep. 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 Right. No. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. 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 Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yep. So yeah. Okay. So basically your 0.07 by 1 million is 70 grand.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And then the interest component on the, was it 8.2 million, did we say? So, and what was that? The interest component would be 0. Oh, so we say 0.15.
No point, no, because it's only 1.5%.
Right, 0.5.
Right, 0.5.
0.5. No, that's half.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, 0.5%. So that's 124,000 Hong Kong dollars. And then if you convert that back to Australian dollars at a rate of, if you divide by 8.29,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's only 15,000 Australian dollars equivalent interest,
Right.
as opposed to 70,000.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So now
That's
we're in
for
a
a
very
year.
strong
That's
position
for a year.
with the Australian. Yeah, that's for a year,
Yeah.
right? So you divide by 12, you get the monthly interest payment.
Sorry, what's that again?
So I said if you divide by 12,
Yeah.
you get the monthly interest
Yeah,
payment.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
15.
So $15,000 for the year, it's about 12.51 Australian dollars per month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is correct, because I'm actually paying about 600 a quarter, 2,000 a quarter, so that's about right. On half of half a million.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah, good.
So, and the other benefit about this is, rather than having negative gearing, which goes towards maybe reducing a tax bill, when you borrow so low, everything is positively geared.
Right.
Right.
So you actually make money. So let's say your $70,000. I'll just do a quick calculation. $70,000 divided by 12. So on, if you borrowed $1 million Australian, in Australian dollars, you would pay 5,800 interest per month, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Now, if you're getting, say, $3,500, $4,000 per rent, you're still down almost, $1,900 every single month.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're getting the same $4,000 rent, but you're only paying $1,251 as your monthly payment. You're actually up
Yeah.
$2,800.
It's income producing.
income producing.
That's why this is called positive gearing, whereas the whole Australia works on this negative gearing.
Which is nuts.
Which is nuts.
I mean,
It's stupid.
I mean,
I mean,
a lot of people have the mentality of not wanting to pay tax. In the workforce, the mentality is not wanting to pay tax. But if you're paying tax, then you're earning good money.
The thing is, it's much better to actually get a project that works, that generates real money, and then good tax planning based on that is much better than some loss-making enterprise which has solvency issues, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And,
All right. So I understand that. I think that works really well. Obviously, we'd be relying on your ability to raise, the finance for the project. How does the private banking world work? Why is it?
It's not necessarily even private banking. When I was with what's it called? St. George. Oh yeah, that was a kind of private bank arm, but they just call it private banking. But it's just the same. It's just a multi-currency loan or a dual currency loan. If you go on the internet and look up under dual currency loans, everything will be there. Yeah, dual currency mortgages or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And you see, with the Australian dollar in a strong phase, and I think that phase will go on for some time, because of the conservativeness of the banks. All it means is the Australian dollar becomes stronger, the foreign currency to the Australian dollar is going to become weaker, and before you know it, you're actually clearing the principal. Now, this has happened twice to me. When I was with St. George, and I was borrowing 70%, and then I switched to an Australian dollar mortgage, I think the bank lost. I made 3 payments of whatever it was per quarter, right? $2,000 a quarter. Yeah. But the principal had actually dropped over 50,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah, okay.
And the same thing's happened again, which is actually causing a problem. I'll see why there's a problem in a second. But I got that Brisbane Street mortgage at 70% loan to value ratio. And now I'm only borrowing about 51% loan to value ratio. But I haven't paid 20% of the mortgage off. What's happened is the bank has made a foreign currency loss to me of about 20% of the value of the mortgage.
Right.
But the problem is, it's now creating a new problem for me because I said, okay, well, I want to refinance it. Let me convert it to Australian dollars. And then rather than borrowing 50%, I can borrow, say, 80%, right? An extra 30%, an extra 300,000 would be easy money.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. And they're banking on the fact that at some point it'll come back, and they won't have to realise the loss. Mm. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. That'd be great. Oh. Yeah. Okay. No. Really? Right. Yep, of course. Yep. Okay. Well, of course. Oh, it's called the Reserve Bank. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. That's yeah. Okay. All right. So this cheap. So in summary, the cheap loan rate is because of the dual currency, is it? What's the interest rate? What's the interest rate in? Here, go on. Right. Okay. Yeah. So how? So that money, 1.5% comes from whom? Right. What sort of bank? Okay. All right. And that's still a regulated. That's a regulated market. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Sure. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So getting back to Brisbane Street, I got the impression from reading through the email, the Brisbane Street from a generating cash point of view is probably the preferred option for you. Yep. Yep. Yeah. 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 Exactly.
And even if I want to complain from, like with everything place, where some up,
Yeah.
at least it makes me and next to them, right? The cable for the security that
Yeah.
you're not going to think,
Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. So with that, how would it work from a trust point of view? My name would be. I mean, if I wanted to say I wanted to buy it, or I don't know. Yes. So what I mean, what security do I have? I guess over the property. If we go for that direction, and is it really mine? Is it really the trust? Is it Is it half yours? Is it? Yeah. 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 Right. Okay. Right. Mm. Mm. Yep. 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 Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean that's well. Yeah. I mean my sister-in-law is a an accountant, so I can certainly ask her. Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then so then that'll be a new transaction. It'll be a new loan. Um, it could be set up either of those two ways. Um, we'd have more room, and we'd be basically making the 2 grand a quarter payment. Correct?
that what you usually do is you get finance from Australia, in Australia.
Yeah.
Just to do the budget, they'll probably back down that 500% again. Because I'm fine. See, if it comes down to the trust you have for one associate to I trust in you, whatever, or is that the other?
Yeah.
It's probably better at that point just go with like straight back to the finance because then they say 3 4 months. I don't mind contributing to the difference to get going. The transaction is really clear. My concern we need some credibility, not just people from here to say this was a multi-million account. That represents the business to assist on focusing on people by straight property. I prefer to go to a property than not do it in that fashion.
Yeah.
Because that's the only but I think I make comparison of how the 70%, otherwise 80%, 90% from from straight back to the face be horrible money. But you have better cash flow or back to this quarter and probably agree that I at a certain point that I correct sorry what you think till we got the 7% is usually the figure for dual grandparents.
Right.
So it's like things around that. If you work out, 9% versus 3%, the 9% trading on gives you more cash, but over a period of a year, you pay more than the trend.
Well, you
I'm
might.
saying, start off 9% of trading on, and the key transactions of what say, well, you relate to this, related to that.
Yep.
And then we can then agree to one them. And by that, why will be better because I'm not studying. And then we look at the best variable.
Yep.
And then also being able to start looking at maybe some calculations to mention the formula for it. And of course, the thing is, as soon as you start into Christmas, we can put the 30 cycle on.
Yeah.
And selling it to land to a developer, like get more money, what the current thing. Then that is
Yeah.
cash to then subsidize a lot better. Or even, value keep the lower back to like 70, 60%. Once you get 60% valuation, you could have more private banks. Probably really powerful retail. Retail banks will say, okay, I'm in mortgage. I have to pay 20%. The bank pays and that's $1 million.
Right.
If you want to buy serious yes, they'll say, if you've got $1 million in your portfolio, we'll take less security and we'll let you 80% of your loan.
Okay.
Now you may think that's on your own money, but the rate that is ridiculous.
Right. Okay.
So, at the end of the day, as soon as you get a bank property, whether it's 90%, 80%, back with the short funds of that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, might as well send back all in the shop on a much lower pay per month than higher, where there's a higher that's pretty strong.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So look, ultimately, I guess at the end of the day, if we, if I want to buy that, at some point, I just want some confidence that, there's we need to be protected to make sure that I guess we have, we have title to it.
Well, I mean, you just go to bed
Yep.
and
Correct. And you're suggesting that that's a much cleaner way, and borrowing the money from an Australian bank, that then
Because you see, we're going to use property for renovating, improving, selling.
yeah, correct.
Makes sense. And because then, if something that buys frequently not legible some property,
Yeah,
just the company will take it on. Us,
not the individuals. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that, because I mean I don't see the Brisbane Street thing, if we go ahead with it, as being a one-off transaction.
No,
I'm
to do this. That's Margaret
yeah.
Going.
Yeah, no, I'd love to get it going. What I need to do is I need to be able to understand the structure in which we put it into, and we need to make sure that we just have a situation that maximises the flexibility, so that we can do other projects.
Well, the other thing, if they're structure enough for these where we don't necessarily know about renovating and trying to sell it, if that's only one pot, okay,
Yep.
and the property within the pot across the land, let's say there's a mortgage property, there's a mortgage on the property, and both are also being sold to the bank.
Yep.
The bank also have to see the way this works. We want to know this whole work.
Yeah. Correct.
So I don't want to low rate. By that time, longer with it, great at yeah. And at the same time, there's a whole structure. It can get costs for renovation, get costs for you can get all these costs.
Mm.
So well as being a whole structure, there is some sense.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to pay. Not the income that's not because of the rent. That will be profit.
Yeah.
But hopefully that will cover the cost of the maintenance work, get it up to the same value,
Yep.
and they'll pick up again selling property.
Yeah.
But don't forget, the capital gain we get that only not necessarily ourselves in a personal capacity.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like a pot. Something that can profit at a certain time, something will be closed at a certain something will be cost, something to make profit on a way.
Yep. Yep. Understand.
But
Sister-in-law, my brother's
Yeah.
wife. Yeah.
if you ask about, I'm not sure. I suppose the lady when I was there, it's what I see my time. In my documentation, and they feel like
Yeah. Okay. I could probably have a look on the tax office website and find some stuff to do with property trusts and all that sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll do some research on that. But all right. So the other thing is I've actually left my place of employment. I left there about 4 weeks ago. When Margaret was starting to have some of these tests and things. Now I can go back and get some consulting work. I've just wanted to make sure I'd be around for her, and there are a few other things that I wanted to sort out, and I wanted to help out around the house with some of the construction stuff and that sort of thing. So, but it means that I can't obviously go out tomorrow. I'd struggle to go out tomorrow and actually go and get a loan in my own name, because I'm not currently employed. So that's the only issue with that.
Okay.
So yeah, that may throw a spanner in the works.
But I think
Sorry?
you've got a lot.
I've got the last three
The last
3 years tax returns. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, all you can say is, you know, I'll send you some information, which is that I see stuff like it, and just something like that.
Yeah.
At least, right, and then you'll usually get the Australian. The biggest problem I'm always at is, you know, Australian and say, hey, you're not I say,
Right.
so somebody's not like that, going to go in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No.
mean, even, you know, the letter or something, I'm sure I'll get that guy or something. But as you go down the line, looking at back, I'm curious is, I know you guys I'll send it just so you know, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I think you put it for
Yeah.
because don't forget, then it that's not the lender.
Say that
I
again.
don't. I said bank money to lend money.
Yeah.
Like you have this banks to make losses.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So they want to make sure that the property's good and that you're gonna not just like very necessary 85, 90%. They're not gonna lose.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I mean that could be the only small thing, but you know, I mean, depending, how would I guess the other thing is we do this, you know, property renovation and all the rest of it, and you know, we might sell some, we might rent some, depends what the goal is and what the how the properties come up, I guess. And what finance we've got for them and how much they cost and what the rental income's like in those areas. I mean, it would be good to build a property portfolio of positive paying properties where, you know, that provides their income.
Well, I'm going to this year, likely,
Oh,
that's what I'm doing.
who'd you been talking to? Margaret about it?
No.
Oh, your dad. Yeah. Oh, Margaret doesn't. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, so I mean, I'd love to do that. You know, it doesn't bother me. I guess in the short term, you know, I can probably keep a little bit of money back. You know, I've got some extra money above the 200, not a truckload, but I've got some that, you know, I can use in the meantime to live on. Until we get, see, I don't know how it'd work. You know, you buy your first property, you renovate it, you sell it. Let's say that in an optimum or a you know, a positive fashion took, say, 6 months. Let's say it took a year, right? Let's say your first one took a year, right? Worst case scenario. Before you actually, by the time you bought it to the time you sold it, okay, and realised income. So let's say you made an extra 100 grand over and above your costs, right?
Yeah.
Then some of your income for the year would come from those projects and potentially be distributed. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how we structure that. I don't know whether the trust pays an income like a dividend, or whether you know, you wait till the end of the year, wait until it's sold. I'd have to talk to you about how you'd want to structure that.
I don't think that's going to happen. Wait. So, don't forget, I'll do 6 weeks to rent. You know, is that what I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
Yes. Say, the property is actually ours without wait. Sorry. Once we open,
Yep.
between 1 and 200.
Yep.
So at that point, either be sold, can be rented. That's
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
right. Then, who cares about us at the price we rent? Is these are mortgage.
Correct.
So rather than
Yep.
We might as well not.
Yeah.
Money's coming in.
Well, that's right. Yep.
And from that perspective, why not some reserve? You know, you can get properties that easily rent. Now, that area, all around schools and you know,
Yep.
there are a lot of properties that come it's up quite
Yep.
not very big, but small that can rent out by students. Students going to one place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So what we can, you get a place, it's not just not
Yes. Yeah.
and even certainly for city in Bristol, there's one, you know, more rental, and then getting up to from that end of the thing. But then you have a location, right?
Yeah.
I think it's not a habit. I'm saying, well, you know, successful properly done. That doesn't work. I'm trying to pick up in Australia. He was great, next million dollars, but people want to see it. And I think the amount of people want to see the nice property.
Yeah.
If you're not see enough car,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
it's very clear. I'm sure it's very clear. And that's, you know, to recap, good property, we've got to be the point of taking on stuff where we get, we believe, you know, fitness for sanity, for vanity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I agree. Yeah, it forces your hand. You don't have as much flexibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, look, that all sounds really, really good. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and they've got the security over it. See, I think the property market. I went and saw my financial advisor yesterday. And he was he was my father's financial advisor before my dad passed away, and he was the guy that advised all of the top BHP executives at that time. He started a company called Mercer's here in Australia as well and sold out. So he's a pretty smart guy. And I was talking to him yesterday for about 2.5 hours just about my trip around Europe and the US because he wants to do Route 66 as well. And then we talked about cars for ages because he's a big car nut. Sorry? A wheel nut, yeah. I mean, he had a left-hand drive Ferrari F40. Yeah, I'm not sure where he imported it from. I always thought it was a right-hand drive one, but he was telling me yesterday it was left-hand. He's got a couple of Porsches, he's got some BMWs, he's got a couple of Lotus race cars that he races down at Phillip Island. So, I mean, this guy's probably in his 60s now. But anyway, he's well versed. Anyway, he reckons that the property market it's gonna bottom and start to pick up this year. So 2012's going to be the turn. So just want to make sure that we maximise. I mean, I've seen people do this sort of stuff for years. And I read a book, 0 to 265 properties. Who was it written by? Some famous bloody property guy here. I can't think of his name. Anyway, I've wanted to do this stuff for a long time, and I think we could make it work.
Well, that I can well. It's not
Yeah.
Which is the first and yeah. Yeah, we can take care of one else. And that's another option, you see.
You do what, sorry?
Let's say take a share of one else's property. Right?
Yeah.
Say no percent.
Yeah.
And the system finance from that point X to say 2%.
Yeah.
And you actually pay 4% for the
Yeah, okay.
every
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It's like the next progression.
So you can become a bank. See, the other thing you could do too, the other thing you could do is, I thought, when developers, they might build a set of 3 units, right? And they might have put the foundations down. And generally you have a big sign up, it's being built. You go and buy stuff off the plan from a reputable builder. So, and you save on, you don't have to pay the stamp duty.
Correct.
So you get in early with a reputable builder, and you either buy or finance the building of the development, and then once it's finished, flog it. Yeah. Yeah, it's next to nothing if you do that. I think that's a case of we've got to know. I think we've got to know the developer, and we've got to have a relationship with some good developers. See, half the time for these guys as well, right? Half their problem is when these developers or builders, as they more probably are, as opposed to big development companies, their biggest problem is getting the finance and the money, right? So if you come along and you build a relationship with some of them and say, well, don't you worry about the money, we'll provide the finance, and as a result, you get, or you could sell on the finance. Do what you're talking about before. You could either sell on the finance, or you get a reduced rate for the finished property because you've provided the finance. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, have a think about it, and maybe send me some of those documents that I can forward on to my sister-in-law, and maybe if you get a chance, just think about, there might be some other things that come to you about how it could work. And just put those down in writing and maybe just drop me an email. And we'll be over there next Thursday and we can pick it up then. Who was this? Right, right. Yeah. Yep. No. Yep. Yeah, I agree. All right. Yep. Yep. No worries. Well, look, thanks for the chat. We'll be over there next Thursday anyway. Send me what documentation you can, and I'll have a look. I'll have a chat to Margaret about Brisbane Street, and see what she thinks about that. Because I think with 30, it's just going to be things that yeah, yeah. I mean, oh, what? Sorry. Yes, yeah, when it doesn't rain. Yeah. Exactly. All right, no worries. Okay, I'll have a chat. All right, good to talk to you. Thanks for that.